All right, welcome everyone. We were all just sharing a bit of squirrel energy to get started, and now we are recording, so we'll share it with all of you who tune in later. And yeah, so we're hanging out with squirrels tonight. Right now, for those of us in North America, we're kind of on that cusp of leaving late summer and entering early fall. So squirrel activity is picking up, and we're starting to feel the seasonal shift. So we'll connect with squirrels as we feel this in our environment. And Alex graciously offered to share squirrel information with us. So I will hand it over to him. Thank you all for being here.
Awesome. You want to help me with sharing the screen though?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll share
Okay.
the screen now.
Here somewhere.
Yep, it's here.
Hooray.
And then you like slideshow or presenter view?
I think it's just called slideshow.
That's the one I use, yeah.
Yeah. Bam. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh,
I hope
he's so cute.
Yes, I know. There's so many good squirrel photos out there. It's great. It's great. So, yeah, as Elizabeth mentioned, we're noticing a lot more squirrel activity now. They're getting busy. We can also hear the nuts falling from our trees. So we have like walnut trees and stuff in our yard, and we have a little firebox that we use to heat the house. It's like an external, furnace basically, a wood burning furnace, and that's what we use to heat our house during the wintertime. And it's got a metal roof, so all the walnuts like fall on the metal roof, and we can hear it all fall along basically. And the squirrels are running around our yard picking stuff up, and the girls are going nuts. When Kaya was a little dog, she was just a little pup, and she loved to chase squirrels, but she never learned or understood that they could run vertically up trees. So she would chase them across the yard, and then they'd hit a tree and they'd disappear. She had no idea. It was hilarious. But anyway, so that's the kind of like energy we wanted to share. It's playful. It's silly. It's also it's got a lot of things going on. So let's just step through the presentation here. I think we'd start with Dr. Peng's 8 verses. You want to lead us?
Yes, I'll read Dr. Peng's 8 verses, and I invite us to find a comfortable Qigong posture, rooting to the earth, straightening the spine, tucking the chin, and lifting the crown of the head up to the heavens. And I welcome you to read along or let your eyes gently soften or close and just receive the 8 verses. Head touches sky, feet stand on earth, body relaxes, and the mind expands. Be respectful and quiet. Mind is clear and appearance is humble. No distracting thoughts. Mind expands into infinite space. Feel the mind shining into the body, deeply and inwardly. Entire body is harmonized with qi. Harmonized with qi. Harmonized with qi. And we can carry this harmony, our pure consciousness, with us as we explore squirrels.
So this is a quote that Elizabeth actually found this quote for me. This is from Maine Reed from the book Quadrupeds. The squirrels are the life of the American woods. Indeed, a journey through these great forests would often be very monotonous were it not enlivened by the presence and gambols of these beautiful creatures. And in the depth of winter, when the squirrels keep within their dark tree caves, the solitude of the forest seems redoubled. It's true. It's almost like walking through the woods, when I go hunting in the fall and stuff, squirrels are very much a presence. It wouldn't be the same without them for sure. Um, quick facts: species diversity. There are over 200 species worldwide. They live on every continent except Australia and Antarctica. They're sort of divided into three basic types or families: tree squirrels, ground squirrels, and flying squirrels. They are omnivores, so they eat everything from nuts, seeds, fruits, fungi, insects, even occasionally eggs or small birds. They are also known for caching their food. They have an ecological impact. They aid ecosystems by dispersing seeds, fungi, etc. They also contribute to forest growth. Their forgotten caches will often sprout new trees. So interesting. There's some, like I said, there's like over 200 species. I just wanted to kind of highlight these ones that I'm familiar with. That this is the ones I grew up around. That are the ones that I'm used to seeing. And now we live here in the Ozarks of Missouri. We're like literally in the woods, and I think we see almost all of these at one point or another. I also didn't realize, and it makes sense now that but the chipmunks as well are part of the squirrel family, and they belong to obviously the ground squirrel category. And I'm trying to look here on. Let's see. Yeah, we've got a little bit of the eastern gray squirrel. We've got the eastern chipmunk. We see a lot of both of those.
The American red squirrel.
The American red squirrel. Yep. We see the reds and the foxes, and they get a little bit fatter. And the flying squirrels. We've seen a little bit of that in the very high treetops. They like to jump. I don't know if I could tell the difference off between the northern and the southern, but we probably have some of each here in southern Missouri would be my guess. But yeah, just a few members of the family, and like I said, just in a small area here in our backyard, I could probably see most, if not all, of these. I think so. And here, I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. I can't remember if someone was mentioning that the gray squirrel is rather destructive. Here, I think they're all kind of, I don't know, maybe they just each reached an equilibrium with one another or whatnot, but hasn't caused too much trouble for any of us yet that I'm aware, other than annoying our dog. Anyway, squirrel medicine. So, there's this, medicine cards book, and I always like to look at that whenever we're preparing these presentations. And the squirrel medicine is really interesting. If you have this book, I'd recommend reading some of it. If not, I just picked a few quotes from it. And to me, it's almost like it's a paradox. Like they've got like a paradoxical energy, because on the one hand, there are these gatherers, and they say the gathering power of the squirrel medicine is a great gift. But on the other hand, they're known for this sort of erratic behavior and sort of like unfocused energy and kind of flitting from one thing to the next. And you'd almost think that those don't go together, right? Like someone who's preparedness minded, you would think of them as being very like methodical and organized and sort of calm, I guess. But squirrels have both. They're gathering, they're preparing for winter, they're fattening up, they're caching food, and also they're really playful, and they just kind of move around and swirl around the trees and play with each other. And I remember when we lived in the Twin Cities, we would watch squirrels in the park, and they would like to even like they'd pester the birds, like they'd run through a pile of birds and scare them off, and then they'd go wait and hide, and they wait for the birds to start landing again, and then they'd go run at them again, just like having fun, I think, really. Really, really funny critters. So a couple more of the quotes from this. Let's see. In today's world of changing times and fortunes, it is the wise person who prepares for the future. I agree with that. I think I'm a little bit more preparedness minded, I guess, and I connect with that. Lighten your load. So another interesting piece is that the message, if you pull the squirrel card, could be that you need to lighten your load if you've gathered too many things that don't serve you. So the squirrel has another lesson which can prepare you for almost anything, and that has to do both with gathering the right things, the things that actually do serve you, and then as well a safe place in which to gather. And the safe place, it mentions, is actually an untroubled heart and mind. And so that applies to wherever you are and whatever you're caching. Prepare and gather, but don't go nuts with it. The contrary to squirrel is the hoarder. So just a few of the highlights from there, and it's just it's a very interesting energy. It's like this paradoxical energy, this animal that kind of embodies kind of both ends of the spectrum, if you will. So yeah, I just thought I'd share some of that. And then we'll go into this poem. Now, this is a poem that I feel like I remember this from a children's book that I used to have, but it appears in lots of different collections and children's books, poetry collections, and so on. It is attributed to an anonymous author, and it's been adapted, and sometimes people write their own verses to it. I think Emily Dickinson has a version of this where she's changed some of the stanzas and so on. But anyway, it goes like this. The Squirrel. Whisky frisky, hippity hop. Up he goes to the treetop. Whirly twirly, round and round, down he scampers to the ground. Furly curly, what a tail, tall as a feather, broad as a sail. Where's his supper? In the shell. Snappity crackety, out it fell. So again, I think it feels like it captures that energy. It's very playful. It's just very like, yeah, just like a very open energy that just moves quickly and naturally from one thing to the next. and it kind of captures all of that essence of the squirrel really nicely. I totally love it. We got some photos and videos and things that were shared from the group. So Suan, thank you for these images. It looks like you had a flying squirrel infestation at one point. I guess you could probably tell us more about that if you're here to share that. And yeah, I love this. You can see, look at how quick, I'm amazed actually you caught so many images of them because they move so fast. And it looks like you tracked them all the way across the sort of the roof line here. Very nice. And then we've got this, there's a couple of these videos that Steph shared. These are very short, sort of short video clips, but basically Bird Buddy is like camera, it's like embedded cameras in like a bird feeder. And so often you can use it to watch birds, but very often you'll find squirrels raiding your bird feeders. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this phenomenon. It gives us a little bit of a firsthand experience of the squirrel energy as they're fattening up for winter. What a precious cache to discover. I just can't help but laugh. That's so good. All right, we'll go to the next one. There's another. Oops, that's the same one. Okay, here's another one. So good. And then I've got one from YouTube here where there's two squirrels playing in a tree, and this is the kind of thing. It's like we could just, it's like squirrel TV. Just go outside and just watch the squirrels play with each other, and yeah. Used to drive the dogs nuts. Now they calm down a bit. And that was all I had to share for slides. And then I thought we'd open up the floor. So I'll go ahead and stop the share. There we go. A very simple, short presentation tonight, but I hope you enjoyed it. There you go, Kaya.
Yeah, thank you. And if anyone has anything they want to share, or Swan, if you want to share more about your squirrels.
Those photos, I did take them all in sequence because they were using that beam as a runway to fly out of a hole that they had made in the screen. And I didn't really know that they were flying squirrels until I caught all of that. And I knew they were different looking. The tail was very different. And then I was seeing something with their arms that didn't look familiar. So so after I caught those pictures, I went and looked it up online and verified they were flying squirrels. But that was just one. But then I had another sequence. I didn't catch it on film, but there were 5 of them that were like, like the planes lined up on runway, and they went out one at a time. And the happy part of this story is I had someone come in that was a wildlife, supposedly. I thought they were going to trap them and take them someplace. And when they got there and they told me what they do, I was not on board. They put poison up there and they die, and they come every few days to clear them out, and it costs $2,000, and it seemed really inhumane. So but I knew that they were going to destroy all the soffits in my house if I didn't, find them a new home or get them to leave and find a new home. But a friend of mine got rid of them by playing talk radio 24/7 for like 3 weeks, and got rid of a family of raccoons also. And then someone else told me about this spray that they got rid of them with the spray. So I decided to try the radio. It drove me nuts. But I stopped hearing them playing ping pong with their nuts up in my soffits, which were right, it was right near my studio. It was, and they don't live and poop in the same place. So they had the whole run of a soffit through my porch to the front, from the back to the front. And in the front was where they were living, because that's where I could hear them playing. And then they had their latrine in the front of the house, on the soffit in the front of the house. So anyhow, it worked. I mean, they left the premises. So it was a little painful, but I was gone for one of those weeks. So that was good. I just let it run the whole week. And I forgot to tell my cat sitter, and she said, "What's with that radio?" So, but then I had someone come, and we took the soffits down to clean them out as much as possible and put the spray up. And right now I've left the runway between the latrine and the living space is still open rafters now. I haven't put the soffits back up yet. I'm going to give that some time, but that was done back in well, I left it going, the radio going, the week I was at the retreat. So so I started that process before the retreat. And so since then, I've had no flying squirrels. But I did have a gray squirrel who came in and chewed up a cushion on my porch, in a chair cushion. So, and what I realized was that when we did the soffits, he didn't cover, he put some mesh, rodent resistant mesh, a really heavy wire mesh up. But for some reason, he must have run out of, the fellow who did it must have run out of it, because there was a little gap. And that gray squirrel got through a little gap like that. So I stuffed it, I sprayed it with the spray, and I stuffed it with steel wool. And the gray squirrels are not coming in now. So anyhow, and I did find out that what happens sometimes, you might get gray squirrels if you live in the woods and if you cut trees. And last spring, I cut a lot of trees so I could have, since I've lived there, the trees have gotten enormous. And there were some dead ones that were, encroaching on the house. They said if you cut trees that are dead, or those are the places they really like to live in. And I did. So I probably got the squirrels because I cut their homes down. And they do make boxes that you can hang on trees that can give them a home as well. I haven't done that yet, but I was thinking that might be nice to do. So that's the story of the flying squirrels.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. How loud did you have to play the radio? Was it like
At the top. And it was the most obnoxious. I could only get one
Oh.
station on this radio. And it's called WTIC. It's the most obnoxious, horrible talk radio you could even imagine.
Gross.
It was just gross. And I had to put earplugs in when I was in my studio, and I turned it off when I was having Zoom classes, because it was, it was, behind a door, but it was so loud. And I think the birds all went away too, because I noticed a lot of birds that I normally have weren't around anymore. So, but they've come back. So,
That's funny. That's funny.
Thank you for sharing. I'm
Thanks.
really glad they moved out. Uh,
Hola. Here's
Oh,
these are my
oh,
needle felted squirrel buddies.
Oh, nice.
So I made these little guys. So they're happy squirrels.
they're okay to have in the house.
Yeah. These are non-destructive happy squirrels.
Yeah. Oh, they're so cute. I love those. Oh, Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah, that's a good way to bring squirrel energy in.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, in addition to the bird buddy, which hangs in my front yard, I have I think 9 bird feeders in the backyard. We back up to like 100 acres and a stream that feeds into the Potomac River, and just so many birds. And there is one platform bird feeder the squirrels can have access to, but over the years, I have had to try so many different feeders because they'll actually chew through not only plastic, but they'll chew like around metal. They've chewed through the bird boxes, like my bluebird houses and stuff that I've put out. Of course, they dig up all my plants. I had to do what Sophie did, and any plant that's potted or that I want to keep has to be covered, you know. So we've started doing that also because the deer will eat them. But the I've never seen a flying squirrel. And I know they live in our area because at the farmers market there was a wildlife rescue that had a flying squirrel, and they were doing like a little education day. And it was just so cute. And he said, "Oh yeah, they're definitely in the forest behind your house, but here they're nocturnal. So you're not going to see them unless you're in the forest at night and you have really good eyesight." But an interesting story, the DC Zoo, the National Zoo, used to have black squirrels on display, and I cannot remember where they were from. But during a hurricane, the enclosure that they were in ripped and they got loose. And of course, they're all over the city. I'm about 13 miles from the zoo, and it took a few years for them to get here. But the black squirrels, we only have a few of them. They're like tamer and not as destructive as the gray squirrels, but they all hang out together. And when the owls are teaching their owlets to hunt, the squirrels are usually the first thing to, you know, be reduced. And I don't mind. It's the circle of life. And it makes it easier to maintain everything in the yard.
Mhm. Mm. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, it's the circle of life is.
We have a doctor here that we see, and he's invited me to go squirrel hunting this year. I've never actually been squirrel hunting. I hunt all kinds of stuff, but I've never hunted squirrel. But yeah, for the same reasons, he's got to keep his population under control, his property too, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the Ozarks too. It's like a sustenance food, you know. It's like something that they can inexpensive. It's an inexpensive source of calories, really. Yeah.
I actually last night too, I heard owls. So it's interesting that you brought owls up because I was listening, the window was open, I was getting ready for bed and I was hearing a lot of owl sound. So I've had as we've been preparing the squirrel energy, owls have also been coming up. So it's really interesting that you mentioned them and that they're sort of a counterbalance to this other aspect of squirrel energy, which is quite destructive for our infrastructure. So yeah,
They're so populous. There's so many of them, you know.
yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a lot of predators here too. We got a lot of like birds of prey, and
I
we
think
got some.
squirrels are food for a lot of things here as well. Yeah. in Minneapolis, there are a lot of squirrels, a lot of squirrels. But yeah, thank you, Steph. And thank you for the bird buddies. Those are perfect. And I love seeing them. And just like, I don't know, it makes me smile. So thank you. Yeah, howla. Hmm. I think we'll have to spend time with owls one of these upcoming nature healings. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, Gary.
You guys still on mute, I think.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Oh, you're still muted, Gary. There.
It's not unlike the other squirrel stories, but we have a son-in-law that lives, I wouldn't call it a ranch, but it's pretty desolate. It's in Glade Park, Colorado, which is a large area up on top of the Colorado National Monument. And he's into birds. I mean, they have bird feeders. I don't know how many bird feeders they have. And he thought that he would set up his main bird feeder with a camera. And so we were out to see him, and he said, we were having trouble with that because the squirrels, they also have a lot of chipmunks there. When I didn't uh, like living in his barbecue grill, and, you know, and anyway, the squirrels chewed through the camera wires, so he couldn't catch the birds. And I don't know how many iterations he went through with trying to wrap them in different things. And finally, they're in metal conduit now. And I haven't heard if he's been successful with that or not. But I wanted to write down the name of that talk radio station because they have outdoor speakers and there's nobody around them. They could play that as loud as they want and see if there's any effect on that. So, what was the talk radio station?
Yeah, WTIC, but it's a local,
Oh,
small local radio station here in the Hartford area. So I don't know if it has the bandwidth to get out to Colorado.
no, he can probably find an equally obnoxious one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more just like it.
Yeah.
It's like you out obnoxious them
Yeah.
because they're being obnoxious, so you just get more
Give obnoxious back. On the hoarding end of it, friends of ours had a big, beautiful drift boat that was covered in the winter, had a tarp over it. Come spring, they throw the tarp off, and the entire boat is, our pine, we have so many pines here, and the pine cones are huge. The entire boat was full of pine cones, and he hadn't eaten any of them, the squirrels. But you'll find stashes all over the place, and that they drop on our roof too, because we've got a whole line of huge trees on one side of the house. So there's just a couple of weeks where it's bang, 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 and the deck is just littered with pine cones. And it's like, you've dropped them, now come and take them. It's just like they leave most of them. They're a little squirrely, like they just
Yep.
they get carried away, and then they don't take the pine cones. So they are funny.
Yeah, they are. They're really reminding me, the more we talk about them, of kind of the like that monkey mind energy, and then we have the balance of Mingjue and peacefulness, but this like kind of frenetic, like
It's very
over-accumulating.
21st century. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
very 21st century.
distracted, but it's also acquiring. It's a bit of consumerism with like, oh my gosh, do I have what I need? Like this kind of is so interesting just because a little bit it holds up a mirror of our own, our own challenges, to see it in the squirrel and have that distance and see how the squirrel's erratic energy makes life challenging for us. because their decisions they leave an impact on our, our home spaces, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, I feel like I'm participating in that energy right now. I'm thinking about winter coming up, and I'm doing my own form of hoarding with wood right now. I'm doing a lot of wood chopping and stuff, but you get a little bit of it in here, a little bit of it in there. Now I got to mow the lawn. Now I got to go get some wood chop. Now I got to go inside and do some things on the computer. It's just like it's very squirrel-like. Yeah. Am I hoarding enough wood yet? I don't know.
Yeah.
And that their energy too, I mean, they just sit there and they don't, they're never, I mean, they're just always like this. I mean, they are totally in fight or flight at every second they're there. And every time they squeak, they it's just like they have no concept of
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen the video. The only time I've seen a squirrel, and this wasn't in person, it's like an air conditioner, and there's a squirrel like laying its whole body flat, receiving the air. I guess
As it's
it's so
blowing out.
hot. That's my only, because yeah, they're always like hopping and chirping and running, and yeah, it's mm. Squirrels. But there was a quote in the medicine card section that Alex shared, and it said, "The safe place provides an unbothered mind and heart." And I feel like the squirrel energy, even though it's quite erratic and can be destructive and unfocused, it does have, without that hoarding, like not leaving all of the food, but there is that element of having just enough to get through those hard months ahead, and having the peace of mind or that peacefulness of the practice. Like the activity brings us just to that place, that safe place that allows an untroubled mind and heart. So connecting in with that aspect of squirrel and realizing that we can still have all of those energies and work on, on that balance and finding that untroubled, I don't know, it's really a lot of food for thought.
It is a lot of food for thought. I mean,
Yeah.
being someone who's a little more preparedness minded, you're always trying to it's the Boy Scouts motto, always be prepared. But there's also the prepper mentality can also go a bit far, and it's like, can you really prepare for every eventuality? Not really. I mean, it would be absurd, And so, what is this? What's the balance there? And then maybe one of the most important balances is like that peacefulness of mind, and just like the building the confidence that well, when something bad does happen, or if something bad happen, that you'll have the skills and stuff that it takes to be able to meet the moment. And so, yeah, it's interesting. It was a really good one to get. I didn't know this sort of. It was another one of those things where I didn't know I was going to present this even like a week ago. Like it just sort of came about just like a squirrel does, just like pops up out of nowhere, and now I'm presenting on squirrels. It's good, but it was very apt. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for everyone's sharing. It's really helping with squirrels. So I'll, I'll yeah. And if does anyone have anything else that wants to be shared, or anyone or anything that wants to be added to this squirrel field, our healing field?
Well, I would like to add my friend Marlo to the healing field. She's having surgery tomorrow on her heart.
Hello. Hola. Mm. Mm.
we have friends that potentially are in the path of the fire. And about 20 years ago, they lost everything to another fire, absolutely everything. They had to run for their lives, and they're in a position of perhaps being threatened again. So may they be safe.
Mm. May they be safe. Mm. Wow. Mm.
I'd like to add two friends. Jane, who is, well, she's going to be in transition. She's has ALS. And then another friend who's losing her sight, Laura. I'd like to put them in the field.
Mm. Thank you, Karen. Hola. Mm. Mm. I'll add Megan and her daughter Renna. They're camping right now, and she said there are a lot of cute squirrels and they're enjoying nature. So they're here in the field with us also. How
I'd like to bring Mike and Teresa into the field. Mike is healing from surgery on some cancers on his back. And so sending them lots of love and peace.
Thank you, Suan. How love. And then anyone else who wants to be in this field, there's so much space here. So everyone's held and connected in this healing consciousness field. And with all of these sharings, we can move into our formal consciousness field meditation, our healing meditation. Would you mind shutting that light off? Thank you. And I invite us to find comfortable postures, either seated, standing, or laying down. Many of us, it's evening, and laying down for this can feel very delicious. So just find what's comfortable for you right now. And take your time getting there. Connect in with the body. Feel the surface beneath you. Feel the way it holds you and supports your legs, your hips. And in that support, just sink. Allow the body's energy to sink down, flowing all the way to the Earth's surface and through the Earth's surface, going as deep as the energy wants to, connecting with the Earth. And allowing that groundedness to flow up into the body, up through the lower body and the torso, spine, up through the neck, lengthening the spine, and up to the crown of the head. Feeling the body effortlessly lengthen from the earth all the way up to the sky, reaching through the sun, the moon, any clouds, up into the galaxy, universe, and being just as supported by that galaxy and universe energy, inviting it to flow into the top of the head and through the body, mingling with the earth energy. And taking a few deep breaths. Allowing any stress from the day, any worries to dissolve with the exhale. Flowing out and transforming. Finding oneself in this safe place. Inviting the safe place with the untroubled heart, the untroubled mind. And setting that gentle intention of peacefulness. Personal, collective, merging together in peacefulness. And inviting this awareness, this peaceful, clear awareness to flow into the center of the head. Inviting Mingjue to observe. Mm. 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 That peaceful, clear awareness can radiate from the center of the head, filling the head inner space. Mm. Mm. That peaceful, clear awareness merges with the entire head, including the eyes, the nose, the mouth and jaw. Letting that peace fill into all the spaces of the jaw, any tension. Moving the awareness into the ears, the inner ears. This peaceful, clear awareness of the head inner space, the sense organ inner space, grows subtler and finer as it opens and merges with universe chi. This clear, peaceful awareness flows into the neck, observing all the spaces of the neck. Radiating from the center of the neck. The inner space of the neck softens, growing subtler and finer as it opens, releasing any tension, dissolving into universe chi. This peaceful, clear awareness merges into the shoulders, observing any tension, any contracted energy, just witnessing it, allowing that peacefulness to merge into all the spaces, all the places of tightness. And that peaceful awareness flows from the shoulders into the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists and hands. The inner space of the shoulders, the arms and hands, softens, dissolves, held in this embrace of peace, and merges with universe chi. This peaceful awareness flows into the chest, starting at the center of the chest. Mm. 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 This peaceful observer opens and radiates from the center of the chest, slowly expanding to the entire chest inner space, the heart, mm, mm, the lungs, mm, mm, the breasts, mm, mm, all the tissues, lymph nodes, mm, rib cage, all of it held in this peaceful awareness. Mm, mm, mm. The inner space of the chest, heart, lungs, breasts, tissues softens, grows finer, and dissolves, merges with universe chi. Shoo. This peaceful awareness flows into the abdomen, holding that center space between all the organs, all of our precious organs. Mm. Mm. And that peaceful awareness radiates out into the liver, the gallbladder, pancreas, the spleen, the stomach, intestines, our kidneys, adrenal glands, all the reproductive organs. Mm, mm. And we gaze at the inner space of the abdomen, all of the organs, harmonizing with this peaceful awareness. Mm. And opening and softening, growing subtler and finer, dissolving into universe chi. Shoo. This clear, peaceful awareness flows into the spine, observing the neck, the upper back, the middle back, and the low back. Mm. Mm. Observing the central nervous system and radiating out. Mm. Mm. All the inner spaces softening, harmonizing. Mm. Mm. opening, dissolving into universe chi. This clear, peaceful awareness flows into the hips, the pelvis, the thighs, the knees, the beautiful knee joints, the calves and shins, ankles and feet. Remembering our groundedness with earth. As the lower body merges with this peaceful awareness, softening, opening, and emerging with universe chi. This clear, peaceful awareness observes the chi body entirety. All the inner spaces, the wholeness. Opening. Softening. And we feel our Mingjue, our peaceful awareness, our entirety opening and emerging with universe chi. We are connected together in this collective consciousness field, this healing field. We are Mingjue love, Mingjue peace, Mingjue joy, Mingjue gratitude. Gratitude for all of our baby hearts, all of our teachers, Teacher Wei, Dr. Peng, all wisdom beings, wisdom traditions, healers. We invite this connection, our Mingjue mantra, to flow in the field, in our embodied forms. And we bring it into our nights and days ahead, knowing that the healing continues, trusting that what needs to unfold will unfold. And if you'd like, you can remain in this formal healing field, concluding whenever you're ready. Otherwise, invite your awareness into the body, the hands, the feet, feeling the air on your skin, connecting back in with your room, your dwelling, and stacking the hands over the navel, palm over palm, taking a few deep breaths in the low belly. Paola. And thank you. And release the hands, gently move. Invite the eyes to open if they're ready. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's beautiful.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Really beautiful.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And thank you all for your squirrel sharing. I really appreciate all of us sharing it. It's really, yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
And we will be back next week.
Thank you so much. We started with squirrel energy and now this is good transition to nighttime energy.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Steph. I hope you all have beautiful sleeps. Good night.
Allah.
Good night. Thank
Bye.
you. Beautiful.
Night.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Squirrel. 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 Bye.
Their little faces. There we go. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.